I had a great story for you. I really love to tell stories. It keeps me awake. Several years ago, and almost everything I say now starts with several years ago. But several years ago, we're running our wing tee with the basic principles, not the plays, but basic principles certainly there. And we go to play a particular team, and I won't tell you the name of it. But the night before the ball game, we worked out. Friday afternoon, worked out the field, and came in, and their stadium was set up, so they had our locker rooms at the end. And I walked in their locker room by mistake. So, the visitors were over here, and in their locker room they had a hall going down that led from the doctor's office and training facilities into the locker itself. And on the walls they had these 2x3 posters, beautifully done, about like that and like that, artistically put together, all of our offense. I can see it immediately. There's about 9 or 10 of the things that we really like to run is on there. And I stepped up there to read them, and it says, seal the shoulder, check the waggle, take the guard on with your, this one, don't chase the fullback until you see, blah, 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 blah. Or don't chase the guards until you've checked off the fullback, that kind of thing. So I went in there, and we had dinner, and everybody else ate but me, and I sat there and I had a staff meeting. I said, gentlemen, as soon as if we get out of this weekend alive, we will never run this garbage again. Because we've been going to clinics and mouthing off about it, and gone, and we've got a clinic of our own at school every year, and about 500 people come in there, and there's a lot of people running this stuff in high school. And the word gets out, so that's it. It died its natural death today. And then on top of that, getting back to my defensive prowess, I put a defense together that was absolutely infallible. There's no way they could make an inch off this defense. We kicked the ball off to them. They got the ball on their own 30-yard line. We employ this magic defense of mine that's infallible. And the opening play goes 70 yards for a touchdown. They kick the point, 7-0. I turned to look at Kemsky, who's our offensive coordinator. I said, this thing is going to be 150-0. I just can't wait for this day to get over with. Well, the ball, when the day ended, we had beaten them 62-7. They couldn't stop anything. And I've never seen an example of people being overcoached. I mean, they were giving it this, and things were going right on by them. And I think that in some ways, people who go to play us and feel that they can easily overcoach us. I mean, overcoach their people, chasing different things. And then that last ball game, and it wasn't the last one, but when we played Montana in the playoffs and won 49-0, they made the fatal mistake of, on their last touchdown, running a kickoff back all the way for a touchdown. Because that left us a minute and 50-some seconds left, which was enough for us to score again. Because we just played like it was just like volleyball, boom. It's like that. It looked like tackling had been declared illegal, and we're just moving the ball. And I think that in that case, when somebody has only a couple days to get ready for you, we make the smile of who's the last team to beat Terry Bowden. We were. The year before, he coached at Sanford, and he came up to our place, and we played him in a tournament a year ago, and he made the comment, it was awful when we found out we're going to play you because our demonstration team is primarily made up of 5 kickers that can't kick. And he said it took us till Wednesday to get that motion down. I mean, it was too late, Anyway, I think that those are cute stories. It wastes a little bit of time. Got me wide awake again now. I want to give you the basic waggle because it so much runs off of it, comes off of it, and two very famous guys used our offense. One was Marv Levy, when he first went to Kansas City, he ran it for really a year and a half there, and he moved the ball very well. That wingback blocking on that linebacker was kind of an anomaly in the NFL. That bothered him. So he thought that the Waggle was maybe one of the best football plays in football, and Ara Parsegian ran it the last few years he was at Notre Dame, and it's pretty good. It's been very good for us. Waggle implies that we're going to go away from the action, and the quarterback's going to keep the ball now. And we do some bootlegs, run him out there all by himself, and hit some wide out stuff. But the basic Waggle looks like this. The end releases inside, and we often have the comment by the tight end, "But coach, if I go inside, I can't get out there." What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? He said, well, if I go down, that linebacker goes right down there with me and sits on me. So I said, well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that all you have to do to block that guy is to step inside and he's completely out of play? That's right, coach. Of course, the kid's worried about his mother's in the stands, not going to see him in the pass pattern. He wants to get out there and catch the ball. So if that's true, you just stay there, because you haven't blocked him all night anyway. This is one way we got him now. And the front side guard pulls out, gets a little bit of depth, and turns in and blocks him. So that if that backer goes down with a tight end, well, you've seen him go down all night. I've been talking about him blocking down all night, and we're kicking him out, and we're hooking him, and we've been working on him. And so he doesn't know what that's going to be, the fullback down play, or whatever it is in there. And the tackle blocks gap on before he blocks down and puts his head on that side. Fullback goes through the hole and blocks that backer if he's in the way. And then skids out in the flat or hooks up where he's in the open. And the backside guard pulls, and he reads the front side guard. He's ready to kick out if something comes off the corner. Otherwise, he just going to make sure that nothing sneaks through there. And this is step and cup, and that's step and cup. Wingback blocks down. Spread end fakes blocking down. Looks like we're going to run the sweep to this thing. And they both read the free safety. If the free safety flows over there with the tight end, then that wingback goes right up the chute, and the end goes up the chute. As a matter of fact, he'll run up the middle and find an open spot, and this man will run not any farther than the hash. Just stay out of there. But if this free safety is well disciplined and hangs in the middle, then our wingback will run across, and the wideout will run behind him. The quarterback comes out. He does not fake. He does not hand fake to the fullback. We could talk all night. We could have a whole evening on quarterback technique. But the quarterback keeps his hands in. So he takes the ball. He brings it. He takes the ball from the center. He brings it to his belly. Gets in the fat part with both hands. Brings it in a natural faking pocket. Keeps his elbows in. The ball is tight. So when he reverse pivots like this, the ball is tight. It's very difficult to see. And he never extends the ball until he either goes to hand it off, and most of our handoffs are forearm length handoff. So he comes out of there like that, and now he makes the fake and puts the ball, jabs the ball and brings it back on his hip and lets it hang there and lets the other hand flop like this. And he looks up and reads the free safety. If the free safety stays in the middle, and or he can see that by continuing this assault on the flank, he can get out there and either throw a touchdown pass, keep the ball, or drop it to the fullback. if he sees the free safety go this way, he knows that that touchdown shot is open there. This last year, for every 5 completions we had 1 touchdown pass. Okay? A lot of action stuff. And I'll show you some more. But that's... now, this, of course, this type of play is very similar to the buck sweep in terms of the linebackers. This sets up the gut play, the fullback up the middle again. So once again, if those linebackers are just chasing the guards, then you know we've got something going there. Now, I don't want to give you a bunch of specials. I really am not. As a matter of fact, we're not a very special-oriented team. I don't like. I'm not. As a matter of fact, it probably, if I were to criticize myself, it would be we don't use enough specials. We just sit in there and make these things go. But here's one that we've had a great deal of success with. It's called the waggle screen. I think it's a good time to show it to you. Everybody runs the waggle. Like that. And the quarterback comes out here, fakes the ball and comes out. He gets a little bit of depth. Three-man releases and blocks out. 5-man releases, so you get all the big men going. And he just turns and drops the ball back here. And we've had people who will say, oh, there's that waggle. And he runs out to cover the guy in the middle. He runs out and covers the guy in here. And we got somebody chasing off the backside. There's nobody out here at all. And we've had a lot of luck with that. And that's the waggle screen. Now, before I leave that, I want to show you I diagrammed the waggle runs. You got a feel for that. And I'd like to show you the rest of this, the rest of the possibilities with this. If I moved him up on the line of scrimmage and him back at the last second, and then I were to bring him around like this, then I'm running waggle into 2 receivers. I mean, I could run waggle. Here's an example of that. If everybody blocked now we've got 3 men in the pattern right away. Quarterback reverse pivots, fakes the ball, and then comes on here. Our favorite pass from this has been, now, this is right 29, this is right trips. Right trips. That puts the left halfback up and the outside man off. 29 waggle. And our favorite pattern has been switch, which is this. On the switch pattern, the fullback runs right up the chute. The tight end is in the flat. In other words, so the fullback and the tight end have exchanged assignments, threats. The fullback now is going up the chute. The guard is, and the tight end is going out. we get an automatic curl by the wideout. This would be right trips 29 waggle switch, and that has been a good adjustment off the waggle, which is a little bit different, I think, than what you've seen from us. Now, going on with I want to show you one more pattern off of this, so that you get the idea that we're running a pass off everything. We've got some kind of pass off everything, and they're not really driving. These things are not really driving patterns. A lot of them have are very prolific action passes for scores, and that waggle switch is exceptional down inside the 20-yard line. When everybody's covering man, and everybody's starting to pick up people. They see that end go down and out. He runs up. The action's the other way. The free safety runs up there. It tends to do that to the secondary, and then there goes the fullback is in the open. Well, if you'll go back to the second play that we talked about, we've got the down option going one way and the option load going the other way. And a lot of people are, like I said, one way of killing us is with the free safety. We call it pointing. I don't know what you call it, but I already gave you indication of them pointing, running up in there with action this way, and they do the same thing going back to the weak side, and they see what we're doing, and they see the option coming back this way, and they got a lot of folks over here to stop this play, and if they don't bring the safety up in there to get involved with that weak side option, they've got some real problems. And the play that we've come up with off that is right trips, 89 keep pass throwback. There's the trips. Now suddenly this guy is eligible. The free safety's not much worried about him. He's not thinking about him. He's going to come back up and and support this option play off the weak side. And now the technique here for protection is, if the left halfback sees anybody up on the line of scrimmage, a linebacker or anything that looks like it might drive off that side, he blocks them right now. So he's going to keep this safe here. And when they come out of there, make it look like it's going to be the option, he just steps in and runs right up there where the guy ain't. Free safety, where the free safety isn't. And the first day we used this, we threw 3 touchdown passes in one ball game, hitting that same guy. We're running, and then boom, pop it in there, and that's the throwback pass off the. Now let's move on, and I will completely baffle you now. You're not going to believe me. We have run the triple option primarily to a spread receiver for the last 2 years. Actually, we've run it 3 years, but the 3 years prior, we didn't read it. We simply called it. And the reason that we want to do it is that you've seen our blocking here where we're all blocking down, and that's pretty good when you got the tight end, and of course we do some of it over here to the spread end side, but only when you get a specific flank for it, to run the sweep over here with the block down. And we just needed a very good option play to the spread end. We have run the trap option with a fullback up the middle, reverse pivot, and gone down the line. But the trap option pass is better than the trap option itself. We can talk about that later. But the technique or the movement, the evolution of this thing for us has been this. We ran the 40s, which is the fullback up the, just to open up and ride to him, and we simply called it. Now we've got a lot of offense, but when you get right down to it, the techniques that we're running are very few. It's the formations that change things around from the defensive standpoint, but we don't have that much. We're not asking our people to do that much offensively because they're all related in such a way. So when we went to this, the first year we ran it, we had a very good quarterback, and we told him just the opposite of the wishbone teams. We said, ride the ball and keep it if you can. There's any you keep it if you can. So our technique is, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that I started the wishbone. I mean, I just talked to Fisher to Barry this last week about putting some of the things we have together. He wants to do some of our things, and we sure could get better at what he's doing. We take the ball, just like we always did, pull it to the belly, and step back as far as we can, and jab the ball while reading. And the read itself is done way back in here somewhere, not way up in here. I mean, that's where those folks that do it all every day, that's where they do it. But when we've stolen the play, we're using their play, and that's the way we did it 2 years ago. This last year, we have a fullback who's making a coach out of me. He's 240 pounds. I told you he ran for 1,300 yards. He ran that gut like a runaway night train. He's going up there. And so this last year we said, give the ball to Darryl unless it's really shut off. It's fine. He steps back in there. If there's any kind of hole in there, give the ball to Darryl. He just rattle up in there. And one of our philosophies, I usually wait about this time to tell anybody this because I'm afraid everybody get up and walk out. Almost everybody's walked out anyway, but the 4-yard football play is the killer in football. Now, the minute you say that, say, oh my golly, here we go back to Woody Hayes. And with all respect to Woody Hayes, he's a great coach. But the point I'm making is this, that the 4-yard football play changes everything. If I can run a football play against your defense and demonstrate to you that I have a reasonable chance of making 4 yards with this football play until you do something about it, that's what changes things. So that if I throw a pass, say I throw a post pattern, and a kid jumps up and makes a nice catch and makes 25, 30 yards. On the sideline in the next series, what happens? Their backfield coach gets on the cornerback, take it down a little bit, make sure the free safety gets over there so that thing doesn't, we don't want a touchdown pass out of that 30, and that's it. The real changes take place when the kid comes off the sideline and he says to the coach, you tell me now what to do. The way we're sitting in there now, we can't stop that play. Any play. We refer to that as the 4-yard football play. All of our stats. We're making our cut-ups now, and all of our stats. We're putting all of our stats together, and we're looking for the percentage of efficiency. How often does this play make 4 yards or picks up the first down or does what it's supposed to do. And those are the ones that we really get excited about. Well, adding this to our offense helped us with this. And here's the way we blocked it. He blocked gap lead, gap on lead. This one blocked gap bump lead backer. So it looks like this. I'll show you what I mean by even spacing, like that. The fullback clears the outside leg of the guard. Now, when we started to think about this, we said, well, we can't run this. Those wishbone teams that got the guy down to 4 points and he's way up in there close to the line of scrimmage. No. You look at him, his hands are at 4 yards. They're down there like that, and he's back there at 4 yards, and our guy is just like this at 4 yards. They're just as close. And we've already set up the motion. We've already practiced the motion. And we got that set up going. And these people are going to reach like this and go on up. Steps back, rides the ball, and the decision is made back in there somewhere. Now, at the risk of confusing you, I will move this on up just a little bit and say, as that man gets more and more in the gap and on that shoulder, then our 3-man will go around to block the backer, and we'll still do that. Okay? And if we get even spacing, then we would get bump lead backer, and then he'd go up to the backer, and we're going to read the first thing outside of that gap. If we get this repeatedly, then we will be ready to go with gut, which is this. Gut simply means that the 5-man, the center, is going to be responsible for the nose man by himself. And he steps around to do that, and we read the next man outside. Okay? Now let's take a look at the release. Extremely important to the football play. There's 4 there. There's 5. There's 6. 1, 2, 3. If we get a normal situation where 4 is crackable, there he is right there, then it's blocked like this. This man drives off right at him, and he doesn't recognize him as not being eligible right now. He drops off, he comes in and cracks him, and he moves right on up to block 6. The wingback flares, checks 4, stalks 5. Okay, now every option that I've drawn for you tonight has been a loaded option. And the guard or somebody was blocking 3. When you run a loaded option, you enhance the quarterback's opportunity to run. You're creating an opportunity for your quarterback to run. When you release in the secondary like this, you are creating an opportunity to pitch the ball. And the quarterback's running opportunities are not going to be nearly as good. Now, if all of this can change, if this man comes up here so that you can't block him, we have a call for that. Call is 4. It means now that he will block 4, He will block 5, and the wingback will run up and block 6. Now, we're really in shape now. If they move over like this, where there's only one man out there, we want to come back to the weak side, and we're going to do the same thing with this formation. Loose right, 41 option or 49 option on the ball. Check cadence. Coming back this way, oh baby, got a shot at him. He does that, bump lead, ride that fullback up in there. And you have him isolated. Now, you think we're not setting up some good passes off this? The first one would be the look-in. If we bring this man up on the line of scrimmage and him back, then both of the ends are eligible, but the wing back isn't now. He's covered by that guy. And this man suddenly becomes eligible when perhaps they didn't see it. And now we'll have him block, run the option action, and turn him inside like that, and turn him in. And the quarterback comes down the line, and this guy's that strong safety's getting tired of all this foolishness. They're driving him off and then knocking him down, and he sees that action. He starts to come up, step back, and pop the ball there or there. Now, we also have this going for us. If we go to trips, then all three of these people are eligible. And you run the triple option back here. And we get him filling, and that guy runs the same patterns the tight end did, and throw back to him. Those are option throwback passes. So that by creating eligibility and taking it away, now you can create an opportunity to go back up there. Now I want to tell you something. I want to talk to you a little bit about passing, and once again, if you have any questions, be sure to stop me. Is it 10 minutes after 9 your time? It's 10 minutes after 10 mine. I thought you'd be interested in knowing about that. That's why if I start give it this, you'll know it. I'm talking about throwing just a little bit. If I had a dime for every baseball I threw, I'd take you all down the bar and buy you drinks all night long. I'd have so much money, I threw so many baseballs. And there's a lot of baseball carryover here for the passer. The first one is this. When our quarterbacks practice on the sideline, when they start to throw on the side, before practice, before a ball game, I got a handful of checkoffs. The first thing is I want that passing grip the same every time. If he doesn't have that ball in that same grip every time, he's a scatter arm. He doesn't have a chance of learning how to throw the ball where he wants it. The next thing is that I'd like to have him stride when he starts to throw. I'd like to have him stride, and I really get upset. These kids come to them. They've been to some camp, some court, and they got the guy going like this, like that, all of which is okay, I guess, but they got to learn how to throw like this first. If they take a step like this to throw, and they'll pigeon that foot, I got to turn it in a little bit. Then I got the shoulder back here. I got the shoulder back. I can do something with that shoulder. Boom. But if I open up like this, see what that does to my hand, my body, then all I got is that. Now, there are going to be times you're going to have to throw the ball like that. I'm not going to argue about that. But there's a lot of kids that don't get that feeling of striding like that with the toe pigeon and then the side coming through. The next thing is you never, ever just throw the ball. You got to have a place. You have to know exactly where I'm going to throw the ball. I'm throwing the ball at his face. Right there. Bang. So I work on that. And then I throw it to his right ear, to his left ear, over his head, in his belly. And it's only through doing that that the quarterback will ever get a feeling of control. Otherwise, he just takes and just throws it up there. Well, you don't want that in your passing game. The passer is just like a pitcher. He's got to throw some low and away. He's got to drill some balls to get it there. He's got to touch the ball some places to get it where he wants it. And he can get a lot of this in this warm-up, just getting it underway. And then if he doesn't throw the ball where he's supposed to, I tell him about it. Throw an out cut down here where it can't be covered. You got a tight end running in the seam. The defender is there. The ball is thrown here. Tight end in the seam. Defender is there. The ball is thrown there. He's got to do that with a ball. So I spent a lot of time worrying about that and getting on him and so forth, and try to get him to throw the ball right. And now the next thing with an offense like ours that has so much, here I just ran from the buck sweep to the wishbone. You have to. We're extremely careful about how much material we teach, how much techniques we teach. So our basic passing, our basic pass protection essentially stays the same. Here it is. Disregard now, and I've already given you some of the step and cup and the waggle with the tight end, the backside tackle. But if we're going to throw the ball, when you design pass protection, there's only two things you can do. One is to turn out on both sides, and the other is to go one way or the other. And we announce a side, and then they go away from that. So if we said that we're going to throw, that our basic pass is going to go to this side, this call, then this man blocks gap on outside, and his buddy blocks gap on inside. And the fullback, whatever his technique is going to block this seam or this seam. That backer. The back three men, step and cup. Now I've got three guys protecting on the front side, and three people protecting on the back side. And if this backer were to fire, center blocks the guy on him, but his head is on that side. If that backer fires, the center will leave him, four will block him, The center blocks the firing backer. The tackle blocks the man on the outside. The guard blocks him. This changes a little, or could change, up front with the eagle. If we get people like this, and the 4-man can no longer help the 5-man, he says eagle. You got him, baby, you're on your own. The 5-man in turn says eagle, so that if that back were to fire now, he's got to block him. Okay, they can't go back now. They got to block on. The fullback would block first thing off there or coming back inside. Now, this is used, these assignments then are used with the belly keep pass. All right, I showed you the keep pass throwback, and I showed you the keep pass jet. That principle took place in there, and we have two, in addition to the waggle, a 20 waggle, and the 80 keep pass, and the 40 option pass look in, those things. We have two types of drop back. One is the 50s, where these people are all going to be blocking that protection. But when I say 50, they're going to make it aggressive, and especially in here. If I stepped him up, I step him back, so I've got loose right trips, and then the basic pattern is 51, which is an 8-yard out, a look in, and a look in. The fullback hurries across there and blocks either of those, and if he finds that they're coming like that and the backer's dropping, then he'll turn right in there. And then that guy will drag after he's made sure that there's nobody coming off that backside. And the quarterback then throws 3 steps. He takes the ball, 1, 2, 3, and he throws right off that foot just like a shortstop going into the hole. Boom! Just like that. And he wants to plant that foot on the 3rd step and drill the ball. If he comes out and takes a look at this, and he finds that that's going to be covered with a 100 secondary or by a cornerback who's dropped off, and he's just going to drill the ball to him. If he finds any kind of roll-up out there, where they're starting to roll up like 200, or a linebacker's going out underneath them, he looks at that, but then he's immediately looking for one of these two people. And that would be his first look. That's one. I've forgotten about that because it's rolled up or double covered in some way. Then he looks at him, then he looks at him. And if that doesn't look good, then he converts the 3-step to 5-step and gets ready to dump the ball to the fullback. That's the 50s. If we want to call patterns, then this man's assignment is announced first, then this one, and then this one. Loose right trips, 51. Post, fly, and flat. That would mean he would post, he would fly, and he would run in the flat. And when you ask for patterns like that, then now the line knows, hey, he's going back there 7 yards, and I'm going to give ground and let it go. I'm going to give ground, and it's going to take a lot longer to get rid of it. This introduces then one more pattern, and then I'm going to just flatten out right here. I wish I'd have brought our cut-ups, because, and then you could see this thing. You'd believe me. But we needed something. We get the 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15 like everybody else. You know, I hate to say that to you, but I mean, I couldn't be honest about it. And we needed something else. So we put in. We added another drop back passing series, and here it is. From loose right, we'll always go trips when we do it. So we've got the 3 people out there. They're all released like they're going downtown. Just take off. And if we get, if this ball's on the left hash, this is fine. If it's in the middle of the field, then we should go just loose, with 2 wideouts on either side and the 2 wingbacks, because you need the room. And after 8 yards, or between 8 and 10 yards, the outside guy is reading his coverage. If he finds that the cornerback is just squatting out there, then he'll just take off. If he finds that he's going to cover him deep like that, and then he works his way to the outside. These 2 men do the same thing and work their way to the inside. The pass protection is the same on the 50s. Same as the 50s. It's really the same as on the belly keep pass. In some ways, it's the same as the waggle. They just, the guards have traded assignments. The backside guy softens up in there. Now here's what happens. If somebody is playing us, and they're all jacked up about our running game, which I hope we can get them to do, very often they'll end up with only 2 people deep. And we find out that he runs there and he picks him up, he runs there and he picks him up, and there's nobody there. And we kind of got to anticipate that a little bit. Now, then you pop that in on 1st down occasionally, and it's worth throwing a ball away to make them jumpy, so they just don't jump up all over your. You just don't jump up all over your the rest of your stuff. Now we are going to. I know we're a long ways from home. I'll tell you anyway. If you're interested in any of this information, and I'll be extremely honest about this, we used to make our playbook available and we'd give it away, or I guess they paid $10 or something like that for the printing of it. We actually gave away our playbook. Our playbook is a play manual, and in the offensive section it has the 6 basic defenses that we see, and then it has the assignments below it in a staccato form like gap on backer. And then if there's any technique involved, then that's written on the other page. So the kid memorizes this little gap on backer, gap bump lead, pull, hook, kick out, whatever. And then the technique is in another place. And then the kid has to draw the pictures of the plays. We don't draw it for him. He has to draw it during the meetings. And then I put it in against one spacing, and then that afternoon the group coaches have it drawn in for other spacings in their meetings. And so we used to let that go, and that was such a pain in the tail that we were in the book business, and I didn't want to be in a book business, so we wrote a book. And the guy was kind enough to show me the book. Where's that book? I signed it tonight. Anyway, it's called, yeah, that's it right there. So Wing T, an order of football. And that's the way I feel about our offense. It's an order of football. It's not a formation. It's a whole philosophy. And I hope I've given you some feeling about that. So we made that book is you can get that in your own bookstore, and you have to order it through the publisher if they don't have it. We have a Wing T video that you can get by writing to the university and asking for Wing T video. It costs $51. There's an hour and a half in there. It has, I go through a little bit of introduction, then our line coach, that I think is the best line coach in the country. He goes over all these techniques, step by step, bang, bang, bang. And then Kemsky is our offensive backfield coach and our offensive coordinator. Listen to this. Could you believe this? I'm going to start my 29th year as a head coach at Delaware this fall. 29 years. Can you imagine how many people I have offended in 29 years? You'd figure that somebody would take a shot at me and get rid of me somewhere. But our backfield coach has been with me 26 of those years. Can you believe that? A guy named Ted Kemsky. He's the one that helped us. We wrote the book with. Actually, he wrote it, and I signed my name to it. And but anyway, so he's in there for this. So you're welcome to get that. We have spring practice on April 4th. We start April 4th. We practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday of every week. We do it in 3 weeks now. And we do that because of women's field hockey. And they're the ones that are upset about us extra practice and all that sort of thing. You guys are dead. I mean, come on, laugh a little bit, Eric, will you? It's not time to go to sleep yet. Anyway, and you're welcome to that. The last weekend on April 23rd and 24th, it's the third weekend, we have our own clinic. We have about 500 people there. And then we go out on the field and we really dedicate that or donate that time to you, to the people who are there. All of our coaches speak about what they're doing. And once again, you're welcome to come to that. We've had everybody come there. We've had a whole lot of coaches that you've heard of. And we have a pretty good time. You're more than welcome to do that. Do you have any questions for me? Now I'd like to go to the bathroom. Thanks very much.